Hi everyone, and welcome to the craft room. My name is Rachel.
And I'm Leah.
And today we're going to be teaching you how to make your own scented candles.
Perfect gift for anyone.
So the first thing we're going to do is go over all the materials that you need, and then we'll get started. Of course, the main ingredient is going to be your wax. We're using a combination of soy and coconut. There's a couple different varieties out there that you can use. You're going to need a digital scale to measure out your wax and also to measure out your scents. We're using blue spruce and sandalwood from Candle Science. So to melt your wax, you're going to need a pouring pitcher, and you're also going to need some type of pot for your stovetop. You're going to create a double broiler with water, kind of like you do if you're melting chocolate to make desserts. And while you are melting your wax, you're going to want something to stir it with, and also a digital thermometer to keep track of the temperature. Once your wax is melted, you need some kind of container for your candle. You can purchase standard candle containers with lids, either glass or the tin type. You can also go to the thrift store and you can grab some glass crystal. You can use silver or copper, or you could use ceramic, anything that is heat safe. The other thing you're going to need when you are ready to pour your wax are your wicks. And there's a couple different kinds you can use. There's the wood crackling wicks, which you need these little silver bottoms for. And there's also the cotton wicks, which already come with their bottom attached. And you can also use these stickers to help keep them in place while you're pouring. You can also purchase a wick holder to help with the placement of your wicks, or if you're using something larger than that will accommodate, you can just use some wood skewers or popsicle sticks. If you're going to be selling your candles, you can also purchase these caution stickers for the bottoms of your containers. And finally, you're going to need some scissors or a wick cutter when you're done. And one more thing, if you're going to be gifting these, you can put them into a cute little box or a container such as this.
So let's start by measuring our wax. Put the pitcher on first, and then you zero it out. And here I'm going to measure out 16 ounces of this golden wax to have. Once you've measured out your wax, I know I have 16 ounces here. I like a stronger scent for my candles, so I usually do 10%. That's the highest you can put in for your fragrance. The less, you can go as low as 6%, nothing lower than that. So here I'm using blue spruce, and I'm actually gonna mix it up with some sandalwood. So I'm not gonna put the full 1.6 here, maybe a little bit more than half. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna mix it with some sandalwood. So I went a little over, but that's fine because I won't pour all of this in.
Okay, so we filled our pot about 3/4 of the way with water, and we have it set to high heat just to get that temperature up close to a boil. And then you put your pouring pitcher in the water with your wax. Now we just have to wait for our wax to melt. While your wax is starting to melt, you want to prepare your containers and get their wicks in place. So one other material that you're going to want is some rubbing alcohol and paper towels. And you're going to use this to clean your surface so that the wick sticks, and also with these clear containers so that your wax forms a nice bond on the edges without any dirt or bubbles happening. And then you want to let that dry before attaching your wicks.
Once your jars are cleaned, they're ready to attach your wick to it. I bought mine from Makesy, and it's really nice and convenient because you can actually take a quiz and input the size of your jar and the diameter, and it will tell you which wick to use. So in my case, it told me to use wick 70. I'll take one of these little sticky pads and my wick, and then my jar. Perfect. Now I use the wicker holder to make sure that when I pour my wax, it stays centered. That's very important. Otherwise, when you light your candle up, it's not going to melt evenly.
Once your wax reaches 185 and you've removed it from the heat source, just make sure you protect your counters with a hot pad if that's where you'll be working. And then you want to pour in your scent mixture, and we're gonna give that a good stir. Once you've stirred in your scent, you wanna pop your thermometer back in and monitor the temperature until it cools down to 170 degrees. And at that point, we'll be ready to pour. Once your wax has cooled down to 170 degrees Fahrenheit, you can then carefully pour it into your candle containers. We have ours placed on a cooling rack. This allows for even cooling throughout the jar. Once you've poured your candles, you want to wait a week to let them cure before you cut the wick and burn them. So once they've sat for a week, you can use either a wick cutter or just some sharp scissors, and you want to leave about 1/4 inch of your wick and just give it a little trim. Maybe what? Okay.
I like to save these for when I do tea candles. You can reuse them.
That's a good idea. No waste crafting. Thank you, Leah, for making candles with me, and thank you for watching our video. Please like, subscribe, share, and you can also click on the bell to receive notifications when we post new content. You're also welcome to leave questions or comments, and we will do our best to respond. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.